What's up, guys? How we doing? What's up, Barb? How's it going? Dutchy, good to see you, man. On to Poncho, what's going on, man? Troll Games, welcome. Kango, what's up? Mike, good to see you, man. Yeah, Dutchy, you better hurry, man. Appreciate you guys being in here. Be sure to like the stream on your way in. What's up, Ricky? What's going on, Turtle? All right. I appreciate the kind words, Dutchy. Oh. Oh, my dog just put water everywhere. I apologize, guys. Short intermission. Give me like 2 minutes. Alright, my apologies guys, I'm back. Okay. Alright, I think it might be time we get rid of this chart and do it all over again. This chart's getting a little messy. Alright. Alright. So, starting on the 4 hour. We know we came and attacked our liquidity target. Our first liquidity target. We also know that we had a break of structure on the 4 hour, which means that our strong low has moved to right here. As long as this holds on the 4 hour, there's nothing really to worry about. So, the title, is Bitcoin in danger? No, not really. As long as we don't break this low, Bitcoin's not really in any danger. So, you should have this on your chart as your 4 hour strong low. Maybe set an alert there in case we break it. We have managed to crack above with strength and with volume, right? Like if you look at the volume in this candle, a lot of that was like extra liquidity, of course, but it looks to be holding above this previous high here, and we're cracking above the 200. Now, it would be awesome to get a cross of the 50 and the 200 on the 4 hour. If we do get that, these opportunities do not come very often. This is where you can get an entry into the newly formed 4 hour uptrend. We know using structure that we were able to get into the 4 hour uptrend here. But based on the EMA strategy, similarly to when you had a bearish cross and you had a dip above to short it back down, right, is the same idea exactly like we do on the 1 hour, right? 50 crosses 200, buyer needs 200, buyer needs 200, buyer needs 200. Up, take the week high. It's the same idea, so make sure you're watching your 50 and your 200 on your 4 hour for that golden cross and then for that 200 EMA retest. Now, where are the next levels that we could take? So we already mitigated this. So we were talking about on the stream. Oh, we haven't quite mitigated this. Okay. So we do have a bit of unmitigated supply here. A bit of unmitigated supply. We have liquidity here. Oh, sorry guys. So we have liquidity in these highs. We have liquidity in these highs. And then we have a lot of confluence up here in like this 118K area. So if we just grab our golden pocket here. We have our golden pocket around this area. We have the liquidity in both of these highs here. We have a unmitigated area of supply here. So if we just kind of take this whole confluence zone here, we make this a sell confluence. We do have confluences up here. Now obviously when we say sell, right, it means like take profit on your swings and wait for some sort of 4 hour break of structure that then tells you that maybe this daily break of structure means we have to go down again, right? But again, really, this is just kind of a target for you to take profit on your longs unless we see some sort of 4 hour structure change here. And if we do, I will be the first person to tell y'all. The same way that we're not really looking for longs after this breaks, at least like swing longs go to a new high, we're not really looking for shorts until the 4 hour breaks back bearish again, right? It's pretty clear to see. Taking shorts here, easy, 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 right? Taking longs here, easy, right? Just wait for it to come close to your strong low, long it, target the weak highs, right? We add a lot more nuance to it to get better risk to reward. But if you're just trading 4 hour structure and you don't want the headache, you can just find your strong low, take your fib, layer in at the golden pocket 786, stop loss below, and you can target the weak high, and that will be profitable and it will be a good risk to reward. But on this channel we do a lot more than that to get better entries. But simply speaking, if you're trading in line with the 4-hour trend, you're generally going to be okay. Okay. So these are the levels that we know we have to the upside. To the downside, the only level that really matters in terms of like flipping our bias would be this strong low. Basically like 110K now. So I closed my trade at this kind of exit liquidity take-in area, because I'm just going to look for a new long to open, right? But the reason I did that is because this was a massive magnet that I've been waiting for a long time. It was pretty clear to me that we were coming up here. When we came up, didn't take the high, didn't take this high, didn't take the previous high, and we just kept building liquidity up here, and then bang, came and smashed right through. Now it looks to be holding support on previous lows. Let's see if we have. Let's look at like the 12-hour first. I want to see where our 12-hour strong low is. So our 12-hour strong low is a little bit lower. It's down here. But our 12 hours also in an uptrend. So that is important to know. Yeah, shout out to Barb. Yeah, if you don't have time to sit at the charts and wait for the 5-minute break of structure and always be watching your trade, that's why swing traders use the 4-hour, right? Because you're going to be at work for 8 hours. You're going to miss, what, 2 candles? You'll be all right. It's not that big of a deal. All right. Let's go to the 1 hour. So you break your 1 hour bullish back here. So your strong low on your 1 hour, because all of this is internal, is still down here until we break this high, and then it will move here. If we break this high here, not an SFP, but a close above on the 1 hour, what is that? That's a 1% stop loss. What kind of risk to reward does that give you? It's like a 2 risk to reward to our resistance box. With TP1 would be at the liquidity here. So that's definitely a possible trade. Obviously, we'll be looking at some pullback levels, right? But that is for your continuation traders. That would be your continuation. Obviously, if you get in lower, like on your 382 or something, you're going to get like a 3 risk to reward. A little bit better. But obviously, wait for that high to be taken to confirm the 1 hour strong low down here. All right. So let's talk pullback levels. So right now, if we're going to pull back because everyone's scared of the data tomorrow or whatever the case may be, what are some interesting levels to be aware of? So if we just start with our fibs and see what aligns, right? Let's take a look. So our 382 and our 0.5 kind of sit on this 4-hour order block, which also has 200 EMA confluence on the 4-hour, and it's a spider line. So I would say this is a pretty good area of confluence to look for. So what would this kind of pullback look like? So this pullback would be we don't really have any kind of structure break on the 15 here at the highs. That tells me that, yeah, that tells me if we come down here before we take this high, likely we'll get a rotation to take that high. Obviously, wait for 5-minute structure down here, right? Some sort of structural entry, but that's what it tells me. If we're going to be coming down more convincingly, I would want to see a sweep of this high to create structure to then break that structure. Because right now, a continuation down on the 15-minute would not break structure. And in fact, it would pretty much bring you right to your golden pocket zone. So if we come down here, and it would be like where your 200 EMA on your 15-minute is. I will tell you this. Look how, so we cross bullishly, the 50 crosses the 200, and we haven't tested underneath yet. So if we give it a little bit more time to come up, and then the price comes down, and then you bounce, that idea makes sense to me. I would probably trade that, to be honest with you. If we got, it depends on like the risk to reward structure we got down here on the 5 minute, but I would probably trade that. It's the same thing as here, right? It's just a more aggressive. It's like the 50 crosses to 200, you buy underneath. You guys on the channel know this stuff, right? You get faked out one time, right? Faked out once to the downside, and then you get faked out once to the upside, and then you keep going. But again, you can use confluence to prevent that from happening. We know that this was a 1 hour range deviation down here, so it might have given you the potential to hold that a little bit longer. But we continue. So if the 15 minute does break this high and then come down, I don't like how big this stop loss is for a short, especially with bullish 15 or with bullish 4 hour. So I would be more interested in waiting for that to flip back bullish and taking that long that's in confluence with our 4 hour. Especially since our 1 hour strong low is down here as well. So as long as that doesn't break, we're fine. Now obviously we would be breaking the 1 hour if we came up and did this. But again, I would be more interested in waiting for that retrace. So where are some other levels we could expect that retrace? So we have our demand zone, unmitigated demand down here. Which is also our 618786 fib level here. So if we aren't going to stop at this spider line demand area here, we're likely to get a bounce here. Also, why is this level important? Because our 4 hour strong low is right down here at like 109,900. So you're getting in only about 0.5 to 1.5% away from your strong low, which for a 4 hour trade is pretty awesome. So this is definitely an area that you'd want to pay attention to. That would also give you another test of your 4 hour 200 EMA. Or I'm sorry, your 1 hour and the 4 hour 50 EMA. With how bullish the price action is, it would obviously be awesome to be able to long from lower, but right now at least the way this is unfolding, I'm more interested in this area right here. If we get down here, I'll be more interested in this, obviously, for higher RR. But in terms of where I think it's most likely to bounce, I would say at least some sort of bounce out of this area on the 15-minute 200 test. All right. What's up, J-Rock? Welcome in, man. Okay, so let's talk about the possibilities with the data, right? I think this is important to talk about because of what happened yesterday. So yesterday, we got what was considered bad data, right? And it dumped hard. But what happened right after we dumped hard? It immediately turns around and pumps hard. And where does it dump to? Everyone's stop loss. Right. The 1 hour breaks bullish. Everyone's like, oh, okay, I'm going to move my stop loss up to the 1 hour strong low. Bang, swipe the 1 hour strong low, keep the 4 hour low intact way down here, and send it right back up. Grab that liquidity and send it. So this is definitely something to be aware of on news data. One of the things that made it obvious to me we were going to go back up was that we didn't take the range deviation level on the 1 hour. Like 110, 500. That's where my stop loss was for my long in here. Was at this 110, 500 level. So understand that if we get some sort of crazy dump out of news, you guys are prepared as long as we don't lose our 4 hour strong low at like 110. Like 110. As long as this 4 hour low does not break, Bitcoin is not in any danger. And like we were talking about yesterday, when you know where your 4 hour strong low is, like here, the closer that you come to that 4 hour strong low, the more excited you should get because your risk to reward gets better, right? Like this trade was like, where's the 110 500? This trade was like a 5 risk to reward. Where did I get in at? To 110, 113 400. Yeah, it was like a 5 risk to reward. I was just like $200 for $1,000, which is awesome because you win that trade and then your buy-in, your $200 that you're risking for your next like 5 trades is covered, right? That's the thing about taking high RR trades. It insulates you from times like this where you get faked out, because if you backtest, you know this is way less likely than times like this when the 4-hour breaks and you send it. The 4-hour breaks and you send it. And that helps if you deal with any sort of hesitation in trading or anything like that. Just taking the trades, obviously. So when everyone's freaking out, if we get some sort of news dump tomorrow, just be calm, cool, and collected. Wait for like a 5-minute market structure break at one of our key confluence zones and take the trade back up. There is one more zone I want to point out without losing the 4-hour. And that would be this zone right here. So retracements, you're looking for 1, 2, or 3. And you're looking for any sort of tradable structure to form in one of these zones. All right, cool. Any questions on Bitcoin? If not, you guys can throw whatever altcoins you guys want to look at in the chat. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them, because I'm sure you're not the only one with the question. What's up, JR? How's it going, buddy? All right, cool. Well, let's start with ETH. Has ETH done... So ETH still fails to break his 4-hour strong high. The amount of times that you could have just shorted this with your stop loss above the 4-hour strong high is getting ridiculous at this point. Which, on the bright side, does mean that, like, look at how much I have circled this telling you guys do not long ETH until it durably gets above this level. And what continues to happen every time it pumps? Pump, fails to get above, dump right back down. Pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump. Gross. Compare that to something like Solana. Look at this bad boy. Breaks 4-hour structure off to the races, man. You have to pick your coin that you're trading wisely based on market structure, and you will do much, much better. Okay. I will get off my soapbox now. Yeah, the same. Do I really need to keep going over this with you guys? I don't think so. If you really care about the ETH levels, go watch yesterday's stream, or the day before, or the day before, or the day before. We still have all these levels down here, and if you break 4,500, you can start getting long on it. Otherwise, I wouldn't touch it. That remains true now. Let it prove itself that it's ready to go up. Then it will mitigate, and then it will continue. Until then, there's coins that look much better to trade. All right. XLM. Yeah, I don't think I've looked at that forever. Let's take a look. Oh, what? I have spider lines on this? Interesting. Okay. That's nice. Do I have those spider lines locked? No, I do not. Let's fix that. Oh, I think this might have been the coin that I tutorialed live how to spider line on. I think I remember doing that. Okay. There we go. Okay. So XLM has a crazy pump and is now cooling off. Let's mark our daily downtrending resistance here. Okay. Interesting. So you actually flip your daily bearish here. Then you SFP your daily. Man, bears have been enjoying this coin and having their way with it since here. Yeah, so you're under daily bearish market structure for now until you break this high up here. Let's check weekly. Weekly is bullish. Yeah, weekly market structure bullish. Let's look at 4 hour. Finding a little bit of resistance at the 4 hour 200. Yeah, we'll talk about Sol in a little bit. Sol just hit our target that we've been aiming at for a couple of weeks, but we'll see what it can do now. So you break your 4 hour back bullish here. Then you break it again. Alright. So you break it here. So XLM is a coin that has broken its 4 hour market structure, similar to Sol, Sui, the other ones that we've talked about that have done the work. That's why it's moving and ETH isn't, right? So it breaks 4 hour. Where does it come down to? It looks like it's a 786, 886 area. Oh, okay. Kind of just the golden pocket. Yeah. Comes down to the golden pocket, off to the races. And then it comes down. It kind of front runs previous highs, starts moving up again. Able to durably get above these lows here. I don't think there's going to be much issue getting to 39.5 unless we SFP the 4 hour. So your next break of structure on the 4 hour is going to be here. One thing I'd be weary of, this is would be breaking this and then breaking this low. That would make your 4 hour bearish matching with your daily, and that could lead to a little bit more downside. But as long as that doesn't happen, I would say this is going to go probably up and to the right. That's if you're looking, if you have like spot down here or something, that's the only thing you should really be concerned about, in my opinion. Let's go to the 1 hour. So 1 hour SFP is the lows here. It's trying to attack the high. And even structurally, it kind of breaks structure. Ooh, that's a nice long on the 1 hour. So when I say SFP, I don't mean because it like closed back above. I just mean it doesn't like durably break this. Oh. It doesn't durably break this low, telling me that this is probably going to be a reversal. It more just kind of wicks below and reclaims the range. But in doing so, it also created tradable structure. So it formed a low, it formed a high because of these two consecutive green candles. So it forms a low, forms a high, breaks that low, and then breaks that high. Similarly to the bear case that we were just talking about, it's the exact same pattern. And around here, we call that pattern the JPOW pattern. Why? Because it prints, right, up or down. So just keep that in mind. So it does create tradable structure here. So there was a nice long on XLM here. I got 2-to-1 so far, but you would be hoping for 4 hour continuation. But TP1 would be at the highs here. So that was a nice trade. We haven't retested the 1 hour 200 after breaking. That would be something I'd be interested in, especially if we came down to like the spider line. But I would break some structure, so it would be interesting. It wouldn't break 4 hour structure, though, unless we broke this high first. Yeah, I mean, I think that XLM is near the highs, which makes it hard to trade. But I think that if you're in a long on it, it looks good. And if you wanted some targets, I'd say 39.5 and then 41.5. 39.5 and 41.5. I think it looks good. I think it has good posturing. There was a trade here at the mitigation of demands, but now it's gone up a little much. Let's see, did this swipe the high? Yeah, it didn't even give you any bearish structure here, and there's no structure in here. But Yeah, if you break this high, I mean, you can take a continuation trade with the break trade. I'd say give it some time. It's really close to the 4 hour high. Um, I'd be more interested in taking this trade. How big is that stop though? Uh, yeah, I'd wait for a pullback, especially with us being above the 200 with the 50 down here. Maybe I'd wait for a break, and somewhere in the mitigation, I'd look for actionable structure to send it up. That's all I can really give you right now. Honestly, being honest, is it's bearish if it breaks this and then breaks this low. If it breaks this in the mitigation somewhere, there will be tradable structure. Take that up. Okay. Welcome to the stream, Watermelon. I know that's the first message I've seen from you. That's all I can really give you right now, man. All right, AVAX. Let's look at AVAX. Ooh, nice little push from AVAX. Oh man, I like to see that. Golden cross on the daily. Nice little Wyckoff model here. So for you guys that don't know, you have your breakup structure after the 2 hits, and then you have your order block retest. This would be a model 2. This is your flag out at the top of the range. This is your SOS. What are we waiting for now? Your backup phase and then your continuation phase. So obviously, if you see, okay, if you're wanting to get in on AVAX spot and you don't have any, I would set an alert for the daily crossing underneath the 200. You might not get that if Bitcoin's about to go up, but if we do get like a cool off on CPI tomorrow, you may be able to snag that. And it's very similar to the setup that we had on Sol. Right? Very similar. You have your Wyckoff model down here. It's a little mess. It's kind of like a downward sloping Wyckoff model. But what's important is the 50 crosses the 200. You buy underneath the 200 up and to the right. Right? So it's kind of that same posturing setting up on AVAX. Really anywhere in this decision block that you can pick up AVAX would be awesome. Be awesome. Clear skies on AVAX, really, all the way up to 3187. So you do have a strong low on your 1 hour here. So if you take your golden pocket here, man, this thing is just up and to the right, dude. Parabolic. $786 area. Yeah, any sort of pullback that you get to like this area would give your moving averages time to catch up and then could form a nice bottom. The closer that you get to this area of interest down here, the better. Yeah, I think AVAX looks good. If you're already long on it, you don't really have any worries until you break this low. You could zoom in on your 15-minute depending on where you got long, and obviously you have some strong lows here. You have some strong lows here. This does look like it's setting. Okay, this does look like it could be setting up for a bit of retracement. If you break this low, I wouldn't really short rockets, but that's kind of a short setup that I would see. But overall, with your 4 hour bullish and the way that these lower time frames look, I'd be looking for some sort of pullback down here. And what would tell me that that's likely is if this low breaks. If this low breaks, it's likely that we're going to come down here. And I would expect a very bullish reaction out of any 15-minute break of structure down here. That's what I'd be looking for, targeting this high and then more. And then if you're bearish on tomorrow or you're just looking for a short, if this breaks, this 15-minute low breaks, you can take this short down. Cool. All right, yeah, let's look at Sol. Let's do that. So Sol hit our 224 target that we've been looking at for a long time. Yeah, durably get above 209, quick move to 224. And just like we were talking about preparing for on other assets, right? You have your 50 cross your 200, underneath your 200, buy that, bang, up you go. Also, right out of an untested demand as well. We talked about that yesterday, though, I think, so we don't need to beat a dead horse. But let's look at what we see on the 4-hour. So we talked about how this created a nice 4-hour strong low here. So your 4-hour strong low right now on Sol is going to be down at like 211.75. So that's definitely an area to be aware of. If you're trading this, you're really just scalping this, right? And you can use whatever scalping strategy you like. I like the 5-minute, 50, and 200 strategy personally. You get the 50 crossing, you buy underneath the 200. When you combine that with structure, so like down here, combine it with structure, so obviously can be a little bit better. Or you just wait for the breaks of structure on the 5-minute, right? So if you understand structure, you break the low, pull the high, enter here, stop loss here, take TP1, ride it up. Yeah, just like I told Joey at the beginning of the week, Sol's ready, Sui's ready. These coins just continue to melt up. If we look at where our next big resistance is, so we are at the golden pocket right now, so it's definitely something to be aware of. If we are looking at our other levels here, our 786 is all the way up here at 254, 257. Yeah, next levels are 243 and 256. If you can hold out here without pulling back. Your 1-hour strong low is down here. Something to... So they didn't break 15 minutes. So the only thing to be aware of that we might have a little bit of a deeper pullback, maybe come back to retest this decision block here, would be if this high breaks and then this low breaks. Similar to what we're looking at in other coins. If you see that, then we're likely coming back to this decision block. But this would be where I would look for structure to reverse if the 4-hour strong low is going to hold. And that area is like 215 to 217. But otherwise, when this breaks, we can likely just continue up. Setting a nice little decision block here. All right, y'all can't see anything. If we break this, we're setting a nice little decision block here. So we could break this, bounce off this, continue. And that would give a nice risk to reward to go up. Of course, Watermelon. No worries, man. But yeah, my next macro targets for Sol is going to be 243 and 256. We're mitigating this right now. Yeah. The only thing that would give me caution is sweeping this high and breaking this low. Otherwise, I think Sol continues to look great. Of course, man. Jupe? Yeah, we can look at Jupe. We'll look at this, but out of curiosity, I want to see if radium went today. Yeah, it came down to our level. This was the FOMO trade, right? This is why waiting for the retrace is often better, right? That's what it got stopped out. But we are continuing to go up. This was the original plan to come down to our area of interest, break structure, which is what it did, right? If we look at like the 5-minute, comes down here, sets a high, breaks the low, breaks that high, and what happens right after you break that high? Off to the races. I just wanted to look at that for me, guys. Okay, let's go back to Jupe. I remember I got airdropped a lot of Jupe. I sold it immediately. I was like back up here. Wow, Jupiter gave you a beautiful bottom. Really beautiful bottom on the daily. Set a high, break the low, break that high. Man, that was nice. Okay. Weekly's still bearish, but I mean, if Sol's going to do well, a lot of people use Jupe, so it'll be fine. Let's look at the 4-hour. We're just now getting a golden cross on the 4-hour. So where do you break? Man, Jupe might be a good coin to trade. Look at these bottoms. Set a high, set a low, break that high, retest the high, off to the races. So it fakes you out once here. Oh, but that's when everything faked out. But yeah, these bottoms, man, you set a high, set a low, break that high, retest that high, off to the races. Oh no, this is where everything faked out. So yeah, so it did fake you out here once. Yeah, it might be interesting to look at this to trade it. 50 crosses 200, buying at 200. Setting a nice little decision block. Broke the 1-hour structure again, bullish here. Yeah, this is under bullish structure too. Very, very key level here. If we see this flip to support, that could definitely be a signal for higher prices. I would love a, let's see, where's the 4-hour low at? Interesting. So your 4-hour high is actually here. Yeah. Yeah, I think Jupe is in an interesting spot. So I think initiation, mitigation, continuation. That's what I think. Probably underneath the 4-hour 200. Likely this block here. Probably here. Initiation, continuation, or initiation, mitigation, continuation. But really, what you're looking for is just any sort of 4-hour close above 54.19. And then you can take your fib tool here. And depending on where you push to, yeah, like golden pocket or 0.5 here, I would say anywhere between 49 and 51. Now, you might not get that, but if you can also just use 15-minute structure, right? So wait for your 4-hour to break, then watch your 15-minute on the way down. When that breaks, get in for long and back up. It looks like it gives you nice structural bottoms, so there will be some sort of sign on this move down when the entry is, and take that and target much higher prices. That's what I see. I think that similarly to ETH, I think that Jupe is a little bit behind. So once you break this 4-hour, there will be a mitigation and a continuation. I hope that helps. I don't really have specifics for you yet because it hasn't broken it yet. But that's what I would look for. SEI? Yeah, we can look at SEI. What's up, Joey? How's it going? What's up, Bull Runner? How's it going, man? Hey, SEI did it. Broke your 4 hour. Nice. Yeah, so similarly to what we were just talking about on Jupe, right? You break your 4 hour, you come back to your decision block, off you go. So here's your current 4 hour low on SEI. Now SEI already pulled this high, so a break of this low would give me caution. We already tested this kind of pullback level here. We have a lot of liquidity here. Yeah, I still think it's going to swipe like 33 cents-ish. Where's your pullback level? Ooh, that would be an internal and daily break of structure too. That'd be nice. Pullback levels here, not yet mitigated. Where does that start? Starts around. All right, so bear case, I would love a SFP of this 4 hour low, reclaim off of demand, and then up. Otherwise, we're probably coming here, which is like 29.40. But I would much prefer an SFP and then up on the bear case. Bull case is we just continue going up, and then you just get in off 15-minute or 5-minute structure at these lows and just continue scalping it up. When I told you to wait on SEI at the beginning of the week, Joey, you're now good to start scalping it to the upside. Resistance levels are 33 cents, and then your next one's going to be, oh, I already have it on here, 34 cents. Next target to the upside is 33 and 34. Just had a 4 hour break of structure. Get some sort of structure in here. You can long around 31 cents with these two targets in mind. That's what I see. No, we haven't done SUI. We can do SUI. Let's take a look. So similarly to, remember, don't long ETH, long SOL or SUI. Bang. Okay, so SUI hit kind of this first level of resistance I had marked on the chart here, around like 3.6. We talked about it was going to hit. It got a nice little pullback off that level and is looking to continue higher now. It's breaking 4 hour structure here, which means that it's got a nice new 4 hour low down here at like 3.426. As long as 3.426 doesn't break, your assumption would be continuation up and to the right. It looks like we're flipping this 3.6 level to support, which is great. 15-minute. Nice little internal break there. 5-minute breaks bearish here. Sets a high and immediately breaks that. Wow. Look at that setup. So you break your 15-minute strong low bearish here, right? Then you set a low and you immediately come back and break that, and then you break that and it's just off to the races. People are looking. So the good thing about everything being in a 4 hour uptrend is that when you see these bullish break of structures on lower time frames, the moves happen quick, happen really quick. Oh yeah, look at that, bounced right off the 200 as well. So you guys know how to participate safely. I've taught you guys strategies based on structure, based on EMAs. However you want to do it. If the coin is in a 4 hour uptrend, you are welcome to scalp that baby to the upside as long as you want. I would not touch ETH right now or other coins that have not yet done the work. What you're looking for is the 4 hour to get above the 200. The 4 hour to break bullish structure. Next spider line on SUI is up here at like 3.9. See if we have confluence there. We do. We have liquidity in this high. What is there to be aware of? It looks like we might be at the golden pocket right now. Yeah. So watch for those key level breaks. You have a 1 hour low here. So your bearish warning sign similar to other coins. Would be a break of the high and then a break of this low. That would tell you that we're probably going to need a little bit of a deeper retracement. Just look for some sort of structure towards here for a reversal back to the upside. But as long as 3.54 doesn't break, you would expect continuation. Alright guys, well as always, thank you so much for being in the stream. I appreciate having you guys to go live with and shoot the shit about market structure with. Make sure you join the Discord if you haven't. It's pinned at the top of the chat. It's completely free, costs you nothing. We talk about Bitcoin and trading all day in there. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, ring the bell. We're live 5 days a week. I appreciate all you guys being here. My name is Wave Cipher. Much love. Trade safe. Wave Cipher out. Take care, guys.